Hello everyone, Lito here, and today we're going to be talking about Best Supporting Actor and Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars this year. Many of you know I'm extremely into this, and today we're going to talk about who is nominated and who I think is going to win and why, and maybe other additional thoughts about it. So I've been doing Oscar predicting punditing for the last, I'm not even joking, about if not just over 20 years. I've been really into this for a long time. So anyway, that said, we'll just get into the categories and we'll talk about it. So let's talk about Best Supporting Actress first. The nominees are Jennifer Jason Leigh in The Hateful Eight, Rooney Mara in Carol, Rachel McAdams in Spotlight, Alicia Vikander in The Danish Girl, and Kate Winslet in Steve Jobs. Um, these are five really good performances, in my opinion. Granted, everything's in my opinion, but well, some things in this video aren't. But in any case, this is pretty. I predicted this category 5 out of 5. The one thing about this category that has some people upset is that Rooney Mara and Alicia Vikander have, they give what many people consider leading performances. The studios sent a supporting actress campaign, and Oscar decided to go that way. They didn't have to, but they did. Um, Personally, I think Alicia Vikander should be up for Best Actress for the movie. Um, with Rooney Mara, I think I'm okay with her being a supporting actress. I know that kind of gives into a hypocrisy about how I feel about category fraud, but I'm buying it. I'm okay with that as it is. That said, well, who do we think is going to win? Well, this is going to be a tough category to predict, and I think the reason why is because it hasn't had a wide consensus of winners. Kate Winslet recently won the Golden Globe, which gives her an edge, but also you have to remember Rooney Mara and Alicia Vikander were not competing at the Globes because they were up for Best Actress at the Globes. The Critics' Choice Awards, which just were announced last Sunday, picked Alicia Vikander and The Danish Girl to win. Now, they have a pretty good track record for predicting Oscar winners. If you look back at the Broadcast Film Critics Association Awards, they and Oscar have a good matchup. The SAG Awards, which are happening this Sunday, are going to tell us more. I suspect that right now, Alicia Vikander is in the lead to take the prize. She is a breakout talent from Sweden. People have loved her in not just Danish Girl, but also Ex Machina, for which she earned a lot of attention for supporting actress as well. And there was also Testament of Youth. She's also in Man from U.N.C.L.E. She's in a lot of movies this year. She's exploded onto the screen, and she's great. And in Danish Girl, she is just wonderful as Gerda Wegner. Wegner, I think it's pronounced, the wife of Eddie Redmayne, and it's a beautiful performance. It probably should be a leading role, but because of that, when people kind of demote supporting actresses or actors into or rather lead to supporting, it gives them a meatier role, and people tend to go for it, while more supporting roles tend to be left on the wayside. I think that's going to happen this year, and I think Vikander will probably win the SAG and eventually the Oscar. That's my prediction for now. SAG could change things. I also think Rooney Mara definitely has a shot for Carol. She hasn't really been winning anything in terms of big prizes. There's also because there's been confusion about her role. Excuse me. I suspect that she's probably going to be in like second place. Kate Winslet could be a dark horse, although the thing is she's won before. If Kate Winslet had not won an Oscar, this is right now her 7th nomination. If she had not won before, and she won for Best Actress for The Reader in 2008, then I would say she'd be a threat. But because of that, and the fact that Steve Jobs, for which she's nominated, has only got 2 nominations and didn't really take off in other areas of the Oscar, I think they're a little lukewarm on that, and I think the nomination's probably going to be enough. There is Jennifer Jason Leigh in The Hateful Eight, who has been getting some attention. She didn't get the SAG nod, which was not a good deal, because SAG voters and Oscar voters overlap, so and the acting branch is pretty big. So if you miss a SAG nod, it's usually pretty, it could be dicey for your Oscar chances, but not always, but in general. The thing about that is that she is a very well-respected actress who has been in the business for decades, giving solid performance after solid performance. She's been in the Oscar talk pool for years, and it never has materialized. finally, Quentin Tarantino's vengeful Western epic has got her her very first nomination, but I think that's where it ends. I think it was sort of more, a passion for her. Some people love the movie, myself included, but I think that not everybody really liked this movie. It really turned off a lot of people. But I think she survived the meltdown because of the passion for her and her legacy as an actor. Likewise, Ennio Morricone scores nominated. He's got it's his career that's being considered more, I think, more than the individual film. And of course, it's up for cinematography, which then you have the whole 70 millimeter thing, and Robert Richardson shooting it, who's a big Oscar favorite. So anyway, point being, I think she's just kind of going to sit there. And then there's Rachel McAdams in Spotlight, who I think completely deserves this nomination. She was not showy. She was simply credible and effective, and I really related with her. I think she gives a really good performance without being, actory. She just does her job, and she's good at it. Spotlight could be a Best Picture frontrunner. If Rachel McAdams were to win the SAG, I'd say maybe, but I don't think that's going to happen, and I think she's just there, and that's just welcome to the club nomination. So I think that's where it sits. I think Alicia Vikander is the one I'm looking to be the winner the most. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it could go Rooney Mara, Kate Winslet, but I think Vikander has got the number one spot for the moment. For my personal picks, this category exactly lined up, except for Alicia Vikander. I nominated her for Best Actress for Danish Girl, and I had instead Jane Fonda in Youth, who I thought gave an excellent performance. Yes, she's only in the movie for like 5-ish minutes. She has one scene, essentially. It's an extended cameo, but man, she knocks it out of the park. She is on fire. She's brilliant. She's got guts, energy, experience, and she just brings it to life with this character in this, in this short scene. Youth was not a well-loved movie. It received a single nomination for original song. Didn't click that well with audiences. Some critics weren't into it. I love Youth. I know people have talked bad about it, but I think it's great. I think Michael Caine gives the best performance he's given in years. I think it's a really good movie. You should check it out while it's still playing. But anyway, I think Jane Fonda should have been considered. Alicia Vikander also did a great job in Ex Machina. But I think for me, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Jane Fonda, Rachel McAdams, Rooney Mara, and Kate Winslet are the 5 that I would have picked. And as for who I picked for the winner, I'm not going to say because I'm going to post my winners for my J-Dragon Film Awards a little down the line because I got to think about it. So that's Supporting Actress. Now, Supporting Actor. Here we have the hotspot topic. The nominees are Christian Bale in The Big Short. They are Tom Hardy in The Revenant, Mark Ruffalo in Spotlight, Mark Rylance in Bridge of Spies, and Sylvester Stallone in Creed. This category is where most of my discussion is going. It was a huge, packed category filled with contenders across the board from all different types of films, and there's only 5 slots. Tears were going to be shed no matter what happened in this category. I don't think there's anybody that's going to be completely satisfied with this lineup. Maybe somebody is, maybe you are. Good for you guys. But I really thought the Oscars might have been a little more surprising in certain areas. This category upsets me. Let's get more into it. But first, let's talk about who I think is going to win here. This category, I'm going to go ahead and say that Sylvester Stallone has the lead for the win in this category for Creed. He's won the Golden Globe. He has won the Critics' Choice Award. He did not get a SAG nomination, though, and that is not good. The Acting Guild did not love the movie or the performance as much as other nominees, but yet he's in here. I don't mean to be harsh, but I really think that Stallone is mostly carrying it through due to sentiment. It's Rocky Balboa. Back again. Now he's the mentor. He's the Burgess Meredith role, which, by the way, was also an Oscar-nominated role. He's back in Part 7. He's the emotional gravitas of the film, and I think he does a great job. I really do. And Creed's a good movie, but I think this is going to be a sentimental thing. I mean, Stallone has had not the greatest career in terms of accolades for the types of films he's done, but he has had a career, and he was nominated for Best Actor and Original Screenplay for the first Rocky in 1976, which won Best Picture, Best Director, editing, but he didn't get anything. And I think this is kind of an underdog story all over again. Rocky is an underdog. Stallone is now an underdog. And I think this is just that moment. And there's going to be a standing ovation. There's going to be cheers. It's going to be spectacle. I don't think he can lose. I really don't. I think he's going to win. If anybody is going to win over him, I think it's going to probably be Mark Rylance in Bridge of Spies, who's been getting a ton of great notices for the role. He's gotten a ton of critics awards. But I also think he's a critical favorite and maybe not an Oscar voter favorite. It's a very quiet, restrained performance. And in this category, supporting actors usually need to be pretty showy to get attention. Not always, but, there's that kind of, I don't know. Sometimes understated acting goes off the radar for these categories. Another very possible person could be Tom Hardy in The Revenant. He is a surprise nominee. You could say what you want, but he's a surprise. I think he's brilliant. I'm glad he's nominated, but he had not been getting. He was passed over for Golden Globes, passed over for SAG. The Critics' Choice is the only saving grace he had, and now he's here. But The Revenant has 12 nominations. It is a juggernaut machine that just came down an avalanche and brought Tom Hardy along for the ride. I think that's great. I think Tom Hardy's amazing. I think he's wonderful. I just think that maybe he's going to get pushed down because, there's a little bit more sentiment factor for Stallone. I think that may happen. But if Tom Hardy pulled an upset, I would love it. Christian Bale is probably just lucky to be here for The Big Short. He's already won before. He's been carried over through the love of the film, and I think that's kind of where it stays. Ditto Mark Ruffalo, who now has his third nomination for Spotlight. He's really good in the film, and he's here. And he was not the Spotlight actors, especially the men, and it's almost all men, were not getting a lot of love at Golden Globes, at SAG, at all. Critics' Choice cited Ruffalo, and BAFTA nominated him. That's the British Academy Awards. And BAFTAs and Oscars do align a lot of the times. Anyway, I think, but I think Ruffalo is not going to make it. He's not going to win. He's going to be demoted, and he'll get his overdue Oscar at some point down the line because he's a good actor and he's constantly doing good stuff. So, I think that's how it's going to go. I think Stallone is the way it's going to fall. As far as who should be in this category, it's so hard to say because I have so much upset feelings about this. But okay, the first person that's not here, that I can't believe is not here, is Jacob Tremblay in Room. The little boy was astonishing. Personally, I think he's best actor in a leading role material. He should have been campaigned that way. But, because he's a kid, and people are going to see that as more passive, or there's prejudices, he's going to be demoted to supporting. I mean, I don't understand that. But anyway, whether it's actor or supporting, he needed to be nominated, and this was his shot. He did not make it. Over Christian Bale in The Big Short. This is upsetting. I don't mean to knock Christian Bale. I didn't particularly love The Big Short. I think a lot of people know that about me, but it's a fair performance, but you are missing out on one of the most amazing performances of the year, and this is a sucker punch to me. It hurts my soul. It upset me for hours afterward. The other person who's not here, who really should be here, is Benicio del Toro in Sicario. He didn't get any love at all except for BAFTA. Shame. It's an understated but brilliant performance. You gotta see it. And the other person that's just upsetting that's not here is Idris Elba for Beasts of No Nation. Who? What? Huh? You never heard of Beasts of No Nation? Well, a lot of people haven't heard of the movie because it was a Netflix film that simultaneously was released in theaters for a short stint in order to qualify for Oscar nominations. It opened in a few screens across America, a handful, and then it was gone in 2 weeks. It is a travesty. This is a wonderful film, but of course the politicking behind it is that it's not going to be nominated because, it's a Netflix film, nobody wanted to see it. It's also about a really dark subject matter. It's about children soldiers in Africa, with Idris Elba being the commandant. So, unfortunately, it's not gonna... It just didn't get any traction, and that's a shame, and Elba paid the price. And the other person who is just, I think, where is Michael Keaton in Spotlight? He got no attention anywhere except for a New York Film Critics Award. It's so terrible. Michael Keaton is the emotional gravitas, and to me, the standout performance in Spotlight, who just carried the film. Mark Ruffalo had the more emotional role, the emotional fireworks, so he gets the nomination. That's my way of breaking that down. I'm very unsatisfied with this race. I mean, if it would have been me, it would have been Del Toro, Idris Elba, Michael Keaton, Tom Hardy for sure, and Mark Rylance. Mark Rylance. Great category, but unfortunately, it's, you can't satisfy everybody. Um, but for my money, I think Tom Hardy should win. I think he's probably the best supporting actor of the year, honestly. But Stallone is gonna win, so that's my pick. And you know what? I changed my mind. I'll tell you who I think should win supporting actress. I think Rooney Mara should win. I think she's great. I think she's wonderful. It's a restrained, effective performance. You got to see it. A Carol. I mean, it's a good movie. So anyway, that's my thinking on supporting actor and supporting actress. I'm going to talk in a series of videos. It's going to cover the Tech Awards. It's going to cover actor and actress and best picture and director. So this is what I think. Let me know what you guys have to say about this. But for right now, these are my votes, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.